Today, we're going to build something pretty incredible, a personal AI assistant that basically thinks like you. So how are we going to do it? Well, by teaching it with your own documents, your notes, your videos. We're going to create an expert that knows exactly what you know. Why? Because you're its only teacher.
I mean, let's be real, we all face this, right? You know the information is somewhere, tucked away in a PDF or some company manual, maybe a super long tutorial video, but finding that one specific answer, it can feel like a full-time job. It's just a huge drain on our focus and our productivity. Okay, so this is where Google's NotebookLM comes into the picture. You can think of it like your own personal AI, or a second brain, but with one absolutely crucial difference. It only knows what you teach it. It's grounded strictly in your sources, which means it dramatically cuts down on errors and all those bizarre AI hallucinations. It's your knowledge, just amplified.
So how does this whole thing work? Well, it's actually a really simple but powerful three-step engine. First step is input. You feed it all your sources, your PDFs, links to YouTube videos, text files, you name it. Second, you process. You just chat with it, asking questions like you would a human expert. And third, you get the output. It takes all that raw data and transforms it into these incredibly useful formats like summaries, mind maps, or even quizzes. So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're actually going to build 4 really specific, practical tools together. We're going to create an instant expert to learn new skills fast, an idea visualizer for complicated workflows, a shared team brain for getting new people up to speed, and finally, your ultimate personal knowledge base.
All right, first up, the instant expert. Come on, we've all been there, staring at some 500-page software manual or scrubbing through hours of tutorials just to find that one little function. This tool is the answer to all that frustration.
So, let's just imagine for a second you need to learn how to run a really specific analysis in some complex engineering program. You know the answer is buried in one of like 10 different hour-long videos. So how do you find it without just wasting your entire afternoon? The workflow here is just brilliantly simple. You create a new notebook, you paste in the links to all those YouTube tutorials, and then you just ask your question, plain and simple, like, how do I run a buckling analysis step by step? NotebookLM literally reads the transcripts from the videos and just gives you a direct, actionable answer. It even tells you which video it came from.
Now this is what's really interesting, how you can make it even more accurate. Here's a pro tip for you. If you're uploading a huge handbook that covers a ton of topics, like concrete, steel, and soil, split it up. Make 3 separate, focused PDFs. This helps the AI concentrate on only the most relevant info, and believe me, it leads to much more precise answers. Okay. Let's move on to our next tool and see how we can build on this. You know, sometimes a text answer just isn't what you need. You need a workflow. You need to see it. The idea visualizer is perfect for turning all that dense, scattered information from books or manuals into a clear visual process map. So the goal here is to take a really complex procedure, let's say a series of design checks that are scattered across totally different chapters, and turn it into a single interactive mind map that finally lets you see the whole big picture. And here's exactly how you do it. You upload the relevant design guide, and then you give it a super clear prompt, something just like this. Provide a step-by-step calculation for a website plate connection. Not too much explanation, just simple, easy-to-follow steps. And this just brilliantly illustrates the output. Instead of getting a giant wall of text, you get this clean, structured mind map. Each of these bullet points is a step in the process, and you can just click to expand any of them for more detail. It turns a really confusing list of checks into a logical, visual flowchart. It's so much better. All right, now let's scale this up. Let's go from a personal tool to a massive team asset. The shared team brain is all about tackling one of the biggest time sucks for any senior employee, onboarding and all those repetitive mentorship questions.
I mean, every manager knows this problem intimately. A new hire has questions about company-specific stuff, how to file a report, what checklist to use, where do I find the drafting standards. These are all necessary questions, but having to answer them over and over again is a huge time sink.
So a junior team member might walk up to you and ask this exact question. And normally, you'd have to stop everything you're doing, go find the right document, and walk them through it. But what if? What if they could just ask an AI instead?
See, by uploading all your internal checklists and standard operating procedures into NotebookLM, you create a firm brain. So now, when that question gets asked, the AI instantly gives them the correct step-by-step checklist pulled directly from your company's own official documents. The junior member gets their answer, and the senior member gets to stay focused. Everybody wins.
The creator of our source material really put it perfectly with this quote. By feeding the AI your team's specific knowledge and all your procedures, you are, essentially, cloning the expertise of your senior staff and making it available on demand for the entire team.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most powerful application of all, building your ultimate personal knowledge base. This is all about creating a permanent, searchable library of your most valuable asset, your own experience.
And we can think about this in two really cool ways. First, as a forensic detective, which lets you instantly analyze all your past work. And second, as a journal of mistakes, which makes sure that every single hard-won lesson is captured and is never, ever forgotten. Okay, this is where it gets really, really powerful, because you're creating a learning loop. Imagine you once forgot a key check on a project. You write down the lesson you learned. Then, you upload that note to NotebookLM. Now, that mistake is permanently part of the AI's brain. So the next time you ask for a similar checklist, the AI will automatically include that specific lesson, making sure you never make the same mistake twice.
And then there's the forensic detective side. Just imagine uploading your last 50 project reports. The next time you have a new case, you can instantly find relevant information from a similar past project, or even ask the AI to help you draft a new report that perfectly matches your company's established writing style.
So the crucial point, the main takeaway from this entire explainer is this. You're not just using some generic AI. You are meticulously building a digital clone of your unique expertise, your team's specific processes, and every single valuable lesson you've ever learned along the way. It's your knowledge totally supercharged.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. If you could create a perfect digital copy of your professional knowledge, all your skills, your insights, your experience, what would be the very first thing you would teach?